Chapter 22. I want to turn off the sun and live in darkness. I wake up on top of a mattress resting on the floor of the garage across the alley from my mom's nail salon, and I have no idea for what feels like a very long time where I am. I hope that I'm dreaming. I am not. Yesterday happened. The heavy weight of it presses down on me in a force much greater than gravity. It is crushing. I am 12 years old and already twice without parents. If you analyze the odds of being given away at birth and then losing another full set of legal guardians 147 months and 7 days later, I'm right on the edge of the graph, in the 1% of the 1%. I can still walk and talk and breathe, but there isn't much point. It's just something my body is doing. I'm not going back to school. You don't have to watch many wildlife documentaries to know that the herd doesn't accept the lone straggler. And with the exception of Margaret Z. Buckle, the herd never accepted me anyway, so I'm not losing much. When did middle school eliminate weekly spelling bees? It's the only activity that I would have signed up for. There is just one person who I will miss now that I'm no longer a Sequoia giant, Miss Judy, the school nurse. She saw more of me than any other student, and we shared a love of germ eradication. I wish her well. I'm sitting in the back of the salon next to the storage closet. I found a furniture pad and rolled it up in such a way as to make a place for myself. I wanted to stay across the alley in the garage, which would be good because it is dark back there, but Patty insisted I'd be where she can see me. I wasn't going to argue. I barely know the woman. I didn't have my Healthy Start breakfast, and not because they had never heard of it, but because I'm still having trouble swallowing. I have a caseworker. Patty Nugent tells me this afternoon as she hangs up the phone. I ask for a paper and pen. 2 of the manicurists arrive. I barely notice them. I decide to write down my thoughts, but not my real ones. I cannot put on paper the idea that I want to scream as loud as I can until my throat ruptures. So I make a list. I try to concentrate on that. An hour later, a woman comes into the salon, but she doesn't want a manicure. She has posture that suggests lower lumbar pain. She probably sits in a chair for too long and has inadequate abdominal strength. I tell her, but I couldn't care less. Everyone, I now realize, lives in a world of pain, but I'm certain that mine is greater than hers. The woman with the bad back talks up front to Patty. I have no idea for how long. I'm done measuring things. I only hear parts of the conversation. Although it is about me, it doesn't matter. Nothing that they say will change the fundamental fact of my life, which is so overwhelming that I cannot give voice to it. I do hear the woman tell Patty that she's handled many of these types of cases. That doesn't seem accurate, because how many 12-year-old kids in Bakersfield actually lose both parents in one afternoon? I also hear the woman explain that the Jamison Children's Center was established by Kern County to provide children who need emergency shelter and protection a safe, warm, and nurturing environment. That can't be good. The woman does all the talking, and Patty doesn't respond. She doesn't even say, uh-huh, or I understand. She is like me, silent. I admire that in a person. The ability to keep your mouth shut is usually a sign of intelligence. Introspection requires you to think and analyze. It's hard to do that when you are babbling away. Finally, Patty motions to the back, and the next thing I know, the official-looking woman leans over me and says, "My name is Lenore Cole, and I'm here to help you." I hand her a piece of paper. She looks surprised, but straightens with a small grimace which reinforces my diagnosis of lower back pain, and reads, 1. My parents have no relatives who are appropriate to accept legal responsibility for me. 2. I do not believe that any of my parents' small circle of friends are in a position to take me into their lives. We do not belong to any church or other organization that might have support groups. 3. I do not wish to ever return for any reason to the house where I lived on Citrus Road. I would like you to call Hirohiro Ito, the owner of Ito's Garden Services, and tell him that our backyard garden is now his responsibility. He will understand. 4. I would like to have my computer and my printer, which are in my room. There is a large cabinet with my medical file cards. I will need these, and I would also like all of the blue notebooks as well as my clothing, the metal box under my bed with my life savings, the orange towel in the bathroom, my humidifier, and my copy of Atlas of Human Anatomy by Frank H. Netter and Sharon Colosino. Also, my TI-89 Titanium Plus graphing calculator, which is on my desk. Please be careful with it. 5. I would like all of the pictures of my parents put in storage for me for the future. 6. I would like to formally request a forensic autopsy be performed on both my mom and dad. I will need a copy of this report, although I will not be reading it at this time. 7. I would like my DVD of the movie adaptation. It is in the cabinet under the television in the living room. 8. I will need the pictures and information pinned up to my bulletin board, taken down, and placed in a large envelope. Please take special care when handling the lemur photo signed by wildlife legends Beverly and Derek Jabert. 9. I would like a sedative prescribed to me to help deal with anxiety. I may need a medication at a later date for depression, but I would need to see extensive research on its long-term effects on teenagers. And I would also like a complex multivitamin designed specifically for juvenile use. 10. I'm going to stay for now at Happy Polished Nail Salon. It is my hope that the Nugent family will allow this and be compensated for taking care of me. 11. I have 7 library books. They will need to be returned. I have never accrued a late fee. I don't want to start now. Respectfully, Willow Chance. The woman looks stunned by the clarity of the communication, or maybe the intense expression on her face is normal. Either way, it is a relief that she doesn't smile. For a period of time, immeasurable now that nothing can be quantified, my caseworker tries in a variety of ways to convince me to leave with her. I say nothing, and I don't move a muscle other than to take a shallow, almost imperceptible breath. I know this can be unsettling to people. I can't count anymore by sevens, but I can conjugate irregular Latin verbs, and I do this while she speaks to me. Finally, when it's obvious that none of her talking is working, the woman implies that force is an alternative. She doesn't say that she's going to drag me to her car by my hair if that's what it takes, but I get the picture. And so in the end, I have no choice but to go along. I'm surprised that I have as much trouble as I do saying goodbye to Patty Nugent. She puts her arms around me tight, and I wish that she would stay that way. But of course she can't. I don't say anything, but I guess the tears running down my cheeks do the talking, because Patty abruptly turns away and goes to the back of the salon. It is the hardest goodbye I've ever had. Yesterday, at this time, I didn't even know her.